Hello, this is Jeremy Esplin, Unified Communications Program Manager here at Fisher's Technology, and this is a brand new video on how to use our Webfax application. We have made a couple of recent updates to the application, so I wanted to re-record this video for you to use. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Now, the Webfax application, just to explain a little bit about what that is, that allows you to send a fax directly from your computer. It also allows you to receive faxes via email as a PDF attachment. So let's say this is an important document I need to send a fax, send via fax. All I got to do is hit Control P or go up to File and then choose Print. And then from the list of available printers, I just choose Upload New Fax. Hit the Print button. What this is going to do is this is going to pop up this application. This is the fax upload application. It's going to pop it up. It's either going to pop up this in the foreground, or it may just show this icon down here at the bottom. Here within the fax upload application, there's a few things to take into consideration. This in the top right, this is your fax number. So this should be the same number that you use to receive faxes. Right here in the document name, you are able to customize the document name. By default, it's going to be whatever the document is named on your system, so whatever the file name of it is. These little two check boxes here, send to fax mailbox and then send to fax machines. You want to always have this send to fax machines checked. This allows you to send to actual physical fax machines. But if you check send to fax mailbox, that will send a copy of this fax to your email address as well. You can add a cover sheet by clicking on Add Cover Sheet. And if you have a template defined, it will pop up your template here. You can also customize this. Your recipient's name. All right, and you can add additional subject line comments and all of that. You can click on that to preview your cover sheet, and this is what will show up there. Click OK, and that will save that cover sheet for this. You can define your template right up here in the cover sheet tab. But once everything's all good to go, all you got to do is plug in the telephone number you want to fax to. We're going to send it to this 818 number here. You can hit Control Enter and create a new line to add additional fax numbers, so you can fax to additional people. Or you may also separate them with a semicolon, so like you would with an email address or something. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and send it to my fax mailbox. We're also going to go ahead and send it to the fax machine and go ahead and hit send. You'll know it got sent to our fax server because this will show up and it'll say fax file uploaded successfully. Now, in my inbox, I have, in my inbox, I have this notification that says that the fax is successfully delivered. In just a few moments, I'm going to have a copy of that fax. Okay, and here's a copy of that fax. And this is what it looks like when it shows up in your inbox. When you get a fax into your inbox, it'll show something similar. Now, the second part of this is the fax upload or the fax portal. which allows you to upload a fax straight from the portal. It also allows you to access a history of your faxes. All you have to do is plug in your fax number and the PIN that is associated with it. That fax portal is fax.fisherscloud.com. When you get there, go ahead and enter in your fax number and the PIN that was provided by us. Click in log in. We'll see our faxes here straight away. This is one I sent earlier without a cover sheet. And then this is the one that I sent with that cover sheet just now. So we can see how that looks right here in the portal. Now from here, there's a few different things, but I'm going to focus on this fax page first. You can view these faxes as a JPEG image, a TIFF image, or a PDF. You may also forward these faxes from your fax mailbox. You can forward it to an email address or a phone or a fax number. You can also move this to saved faxes if you would like, if you'd like to save it. Again, all faxes are held for 90 days unless we configure it otherwise. And that goes for the saved and uploaded ones too, so it'll save them for 90 days. You may also download a single fax or multiple faxes. If you do choose to download multiple faxes, it'll combine them all into a zip file for you so you have quick access to them. If you have any faxes that are saved or uploaded, they'll show up here, and it'll show the same information, time and date, caller ID of the person who sent the fax, pages, and you'll be able to, how many pages there are, you'll be able to view it in those same formats or forward it as you would from this tab here. Now, you also have the capability of sending a fax right from this portal. It can be as many as 5 documents or 50 pages from your computer. If you click on add a file, it'll allow you to add multiple files to this fax. But let's go ahead and browse for one. Let's go ahead and save this guy here real quick first. Save this to documents. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and browse for that file that we just saved. Should be in my documents, and it should be right here in our test fax. Now we can go ahead and add a fax number. We can also send it as an email as well. We got our recipient information. We can choose whether or not to add subject messages and footer messages. We're going to choose not to just for this demonstration, but we can also send this to an email address. We want it to be an attachment here as PDF. Then we can add a subject. We can save a copy if we'd like to and name it test fax. Let's go ahead and hit send, and what this will do is this will go ahead and convert it to a fax and deliver it to whatever fax machine you just sent it to. May take several minutes, but when your user, when your recipient receives that email that fax email, this is what it will show up looking like in their inbox. Now we can also look at our sent fax log. We can see times and dates of these faxes being delivered, and if you do send it to, say, for instance, an email address, it'll show up here as well. Now there's several settings that we can look at. If you want to change your PIN, you can do that by entering in your current PIN and then entering in a new PIN twice. Keep in mind that it should be a PIN that's unique and something that's easy for you to remember and hard for others to guess. It can't be repeating numbers or sequential numbers like this, and it has to be in between 6 and 10 digits in length and cannot start with 0. So keep that in mind. Right up here, we have our notifications tab. We can turn on or off email notifications whole cloth right here, but we can also set up email addresses for the message notification. You're limited to 160 characters, which is typically, I mean, that could be 5 or 6 email addresses, if not more, depending on the length of the email addresses. But if you want to add additional email addresses, you can add them in with a semicolon, just like you would in an email program. You can test your setting right there as well. You have several ways that you can get these faxes delivered to you. Number one, and this is the one we do recommend unless you have reason to not do it that way, is you can keep a copy of your fax messages in your fax mailbox. That'll keep a copy in this here until 90 days expires or until you manually delete it. You can also choose to not keep a copy of your faxes in your fax mailbox. If you don't keep a copy in your fax mailbox, nothing will show up here when somebody sends you a fax. It just goes straight to your email and then it's done. You don't have to worry about being here in the portal. However, we do recommend keeping a copy just for posterity. There are other options, including include a link to the message in the email notification that will force you to log into this portal to retrieve your faxes. That can be a little bit more secure, but it does definitely reduce the convenience. You can also email a notification without attachment or link. Basically, it'll show up, just says you have a new fax. Here's your fax number. Your fax mailbox is X% full. It doesn't give any link or anything. That is probably the most secure way you can do it. But again, it does impede convenience a little bit. There is also the email notification with numeric codes only. That's practically useless. I wouldn't recommend using that, but it's an option there. You also have notification receipt types. Notification receipt types here, by default, the new fax is on and it's going to be on. So it'll always notify whomever's email addresses are up here of a new fax. And then you also have the sent fax delivered and sent fax failure notifications. So if you did fail to send a fax, or if the fax did in fact go all the way through, it'll send these email addresses up here a notification. If you change any of these settings, all you got to do is hit Save Changes down here, and it will be saved. You also have the capability to look at your call history. You can download it as a CSV file. You can also view it right here in the browser, which will show you all the fax calls in and out of this fax account. If you click on Tools over here, it will show you a few different things. The only one that you really need to worry about is this fax upload application. The TIFF plugin and the Adobe PDF Reader, those are really for legacy systems. So if you're using an older system, older than Windows 7, these might be available. These might be valuable to you. We keep them here just in case, but most people don't need them if you're on Windows 8 or better. Fax upload application. This is the application that you can download to your computer and install it to get our upload new fax option here in your list of available printers. This won't show, upload new faxes will not show unless you download and install this application. This is an application you should be able to install by yourself if you have local administrator rights on your computer. If you do not, you're going to need to contact either Fisher's if we are your IT provider, or your in-house IT provider if you have an in-house IT service. That's it. It's pretty straightforward. I hope this video is valuable to you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We are always happy to help. You can put in a trouble ticket at support@fisherstech.com, and we'll get back to you as quickly as we can. Thanks a lot.